Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. This is a podcast that is for the chili community, by the chili community. Hey, regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, this is going to be an amazing episode here tonight. We have now four total products on Hot or Not. We're going to shake things up and have it'll be a little bit fun tonight, as well as two amazing guests here in studio. So let's get this episode started. All right. Hey, welcome on in, Swear Nation. So glad to have everyone here, jumping in, being a part of the chat, having a blast. And man, this is going to be an absolute amazing episode. As I had mentioned just a second ago, we have 4 sauces on Hot or Not tonight. And what we're going to do a little bit different is we'll start out Hot or Not with being actual Hot or Not and roll with one sauce. And then what we'll do is we'll have that transition into be intertwined with the interview. This way that gives everyone more chance to ask their questions and for us to be able to, feature more sauces in this episode. So once again here in studio with Chad and John from Freaky Ferments, it's going to be an absolute blast. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing good.
Yeah.
So glad to have y'all here. It's this is something we've been talking about and having going for a while. So it's great to finally have this thing happen. And many events that we've kind of crossed paths at. North Texas Hot Sauce Fest was an absolute amazing place. And if you didn't make it out to it this year, definitely set it in your calendars coming for this upcoming year, because it is the place to be. But man, hey, if this is your first time checking out the show, welcome on in. So glad to have you here. This is a live show, as you heard me a second ago. If you have questions, go ahead and fire those off in the chat, and we'll get those pulled up as it's going. We do have a game scheduled here tonight. It is going to be the 5. So, the best part about this being a live show is you too can play along on the 5. So, hey, let's go ahead and jump on over to Hot or Not. All right, welcome on into Hot or Not. We have 4 amazing sauces here from Freaky Ferments, and we're going to be diving in and getting at it. Here, let me get my scorecard pulled up here. And what we'll do is we're going to be running Hot or Not the whole episode. We're going to kick off the first one, though. So just to, all those that are keeping track and they like to know these things, this is perforated. I'm going to go ahead and use my knife, though. I like to use my knife whenever I get a chance. So
that's a pro maneuver.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's some slick knife moves right there.
Yep. The although I looked away and I clipped the edge, but there we go. More fun. All right, give this thing a nice good shake. Loving the color, loving the consistency on this sauce. I would say nice medium body sauce as far as the overall viscosity going on here. Great presentation. Love the labeling, very eye-catching. This is the roasted sweet heat. Don't know if I already mentioned that, but in case I did not, there we go. So if this is your first time checking out the show, I definitely do something different here. I don't do a 1 to 10 scale. I do a 1 out of 5. Those are based off of 5 categories. So that's heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, and burn. And I do break down heat and burn as 2 separate things. Heat is that first initial punch. It's that 5 to 30 seconds that you're getting. Burn is where it sits, how it sits, and where it lingers. So that's my differentiators there. But let's get this one rolling.
That's something I actually appreciate, that you separate heat and burn. I think a lot of people intertwine those.
Yeah, it's something that I felt like whenever thinking of this grading scale and how I wanted it to be. I feel like it's something that's oftentimes overlooked, and so it seems important to me. So might as well keep it rolling. Oh man, beautiful aroma here. Very right off the bat, very savory notes that are coming to the nose. It's got this nice overall, just welcoming aroma. So here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Flavor bomb to the max. I could see myself easily using this in substitute for, let's say, even a red sauce. I could see myself using this for like a pizza, like using it as the marinade. Oh my goodness. Or the marinara, a substitute. That would be phenomenal. Very, right off the bat, creamy, very kind of a nice little savory, sweet twang to it too. All amazing. Obviously fermented. You definitely picking up the fermented. It's not overpowering though in that sense. You're able to see all these great notes just carry through the whole way. Right at the end, you start to get that pepper finish, and it is a beautiful one. If you are just starting out and this is, you're just starting to get into hot sauce, this is going to be one that you could easily use, enjoy, love, and grow to, build that tolerance. So let me go ahead and jot down some stuff here. While we're doing that, really, if either one of y'all want to talk about, the ingredients that are in here, and that way I can.
Yeah, I mean, Chad, if you're cool, I can hop in on this.
No, let it rip.
Roasted sweet heat. It's actually my recipe. It's roasted garlic, roasted Fresno chili, chili de arbol, and just a smidge of honey. So all of our sauces except this one are vegan, but all of our sauces are gluten-free, keto, paleo, all that kind of stuff. I like to joke it's diet hot sauce because there's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 calorie. But so this sauce, as you mentioned, right, perfect on pizza. It's kind of like a better sriracha or a spicy marinara. So phenomenal on anything tomato-based, pasta, pizza, stew, chili. It's getting to be that time of year for like chili and stews. So it's a great addition to it. It also reminds me of the Korean gochujang sauce.
Yep.
So you could definitely use it on like some Korean barbecue or fried chicken, things like that. But really nice tomato flavor in that sauce, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no tomatoes in that sauce.
But it has that very nice, welcoming, savory note that would like trigger in your mind as like a nice stew that's going on. It's all the flavors melding together. It's beautiful, which makes you think, okay, this has to have some tomato in it because it brings that umami taste forward.
Yeah, so none of our sauces contain any of the common fillers. So there's no tomatoes, tomatillos, carrots, beets, and there's no added water. And the amount of vinegar in all of our bottles is about this much.
Okay.
Which compared to like Tabasco Franks, Louisiana, right? You're talking about basically a red bottle of vinegar. And so again, like what you're tasting there, you're literally just tasting the roasted garlic, the roasted Fresnos, the chili de arbol, that roasted, you get that fermented red bell to give that little bit of like hint of sweetness and acidity, right? And so like that's why it triggers your brain, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm tasting tomatoes, you're not.
It's definitely that red bell pepper that's that accent to it all. That's given that creamy note. I feel like obviously I can taste the garlic in there with it, but it's the way it hands off to that, because really as it hands off to the red bell pepper, that's whenever the rest of the overall pepper forward nature comes out. So one thing I didn't mention, or actually two, versatility wise, this is a very versatile sauce. I see myself using this just about on anything. The only thing I'm probably not going to lean towards is going to be desserts, although it's not geared towards a dessert sauce. So the other thing is, I would say the burn on this one is actually slightly more than the overall heat. So the overall heat, you're just getting this nice overall creamy, savory, nice, just beautiful notes the whole way through. I don't know how to describe it other than all I can think of is this nice, just pot roast. Ultimately, it's like what I'm wanting right now. And so with the burn as it's coming in, you're really, so you're getting it and it's hitting about midway on the overall tongue. It starts to just ever so slightly touch the back of the mouth, but it's staying in that tongue to gums and back of the mouth range really the whole way through. Nothing in the chest, nothing in the stomach. Once again, if you're brand new to eating spicy food, this is going to be a phenomenal sauce for you to step into, really get to building that tolerance and enjoying every single step of the way. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this one read off here.
I didn't know you had entered everything.
Oh, my bad. I got a little bit ahead of producer Jeff on that one, so no worries. What we'll do is, while that one's getting input, we'll go ahead and just open this next one real quick. So we're gonna end up taking a look at the next one, being the cayenne ginger lemon, and once again perforated label. But let's get this one nice cut going, and we shall give it a good shake. Now this one, a little bit higher viscosity, if you will. A little bit more flow to it. Liking what's going on with it. With the name of cayenne, ginger, and what is it, lemon? Yeah. I'm already kind of picturing more of like a Louisiana style-esque sauce in the sense of the overall flow, which is spot on for what I'm seeing here. Not, nowhere near as runny as that other style, but a nice flow to kind of complement that. But nice healthy pour here. Oh, beautiful aroma. Oh my goodness. All right. Ginger was definitely one of the main things you were picking up from an aroma standpoint. But the second you really get it in and you're tasting it, that creamy, savory, inviting, the ginger does come through. You're definitely picking up the lemon almost pretty much right off the bat. It is a phenomenal citrus front on this, and it has the citrus finish. And I almost, as we're talking now, I almost feel like the citrus notes are a little bit more prominent on the finish than they were even on the front. But from a initial heat perspective, I would say this is also pretty friendly for those that are just getting into it. You're getting the nice, once again, fermented taste the whole way through. Great sauce, very multi-purpose, multi-use setup and style. So let me go ahead and start inputting some of that too, before I get too carried away. Heat-wise, yeah, a little bit more on the front half of this than, say, the last sauce. So I would definitely say from a heat perspective, this would be a nice stepping stone, but definitely one that you could still easily swing as you're starting out. And it's not going to completely destroy you. Obviously, moderation is key in a sense of that. So let's get that there. Okay. And aroma. Let's do, yeah. And then flavor. Man, this one has my taste buds just like overly salivating right now. I could easily want to put a straw in this and just drink it right now. It's very good. Very, very well balanced. Ginger's a very strong ingredient in most cases, but and oftentimes lemon is something that is one that is lost by the wayside because it's so easy to either have it just, in most cases, it will cook out because most people will like cook, basically heat it up to the point where it's just gone. And you really lose it in the sauce. But man, to take something that's oftentimes so strong and pair it with something that is having that struggle of really having itself known, y'all did a phenomenal job there, having it very evenly matched. And then versatility and burn. So burn on this one, it's interesting. So like as it started out, it was more the lips, the gums, the front half of the mouth. And then as it kind of went, it's still a little bit on the front of the mouth, but it's mostly just the middle of the tongue. And it's just sitting there. It's parked. It's ready to go. It's just kind of like slowly embers, just tingling on the tongue, but nothing too crazy. So I would say the burn on this one, almost pretty even compared to how the heat started out. Maybe a slight uptick. But, all right, that one's in there too. But let's go ahead and read off the roasted sweet heat. All right, roasted sweet heat. Heat is coming in at a 2.76. Aroma at a 4.2. Flavor at a 4.57. Versatility at a 4. And burn at a 3 for a total swear word rating of 3.7. There we go. Very solid. And once again, I will have links for everything directly down below. And if you've caught the promos on Instagram, they're already tagged over there. So you can definitely check them up, pick them up, and get them off of that. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. And then what we'll do is we'll read off the next one from there. So, here we go. All right, so once again, this is y'all's friendly reminder. If you have questions, go ahead and fire those off. That way we can get those asked, as we're going. And let's do this. Let's start off by reading off what the cayenne ginger lemon would be, and then we'll jump into a little bit of background on Freaky Ferments. So here we go with the cayenne ginger lemon. Nope. Need a second? Okay, cool. All right, no worries. So when and how did Freaky Ferments get started?
Yeah, so it was probably like 2017. A couple of my friends, I had just bought my first house and had a shed in the backyard that had electricity already in it. One of them was like, "Hey, we should brew beer here," and it was like, okay, well, like at that point in our lives, we were fans of beer, but like brewing it, like what? And so. He got a bunch of equipment in there, and I hung out with him, watched him do the process, and then it was a lot of fun to watch him do the process because we just sat there and drank and observed. And then a couple of years later, we're all involved in the process. We're enjoying it. We're like, well, cool. We're having so much fun. Well, how do we start a brewery? Well, it turns out you need a ton of money. And so we were like, well, what else can you ferment? And so we were growing some jalapenos and serranos and stuff in our home gardens. One of my buddies, he's that type of guy that always has to one-up you. And so he decides he wants to grow some ghost peppers and Carolina Reapers.
Okay.
And he did it really well.
Yeah.
And so we were dogging him throughout the weeks and months, and we were like, what are you going to do with all those whenever they turn ripe? Because he'd always give us updates with pictures and stuff. And so he made a fermented mash of this ghost pepper and Carolina Reaper sauce, and we put it on some beef jerky, and it was really hot, but it was really good. And so we got a positive response from friends, family, all that. And just around 2019, the Texas College Food Law had just came into play.
Yep.
Which allowed us to manufacture hot sauces from our own personal kitchens and sell them at our local farmers markets. And so the timing was pretty spot on there. And so we came out with a line of hot sauce, mild, medium, and hot, our jalapeno verde, and our ghost sauce. And we showed up to a Christmas market down in Joshua, Texas, and we made $300 that night. And we said, "This is it, boys." And since then, things have just kind of gotten out of hand in a good way. And I mean, we have a ton of hot sauces, the flavors, and just the growth has just been so much bigger than I could ever imagine.
Yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense. And to that point with securing the $300 that day, really it's that second that you make that first dollar with your products, you're like, all right, this is obtainable. We can do this. Like,
Yeah.
That's got to be such an exciting and exhilarating experience to go through.
Yeah, and up until that point, me and my partners, we had never sold anything before. So whenever someone would come up to the booth and we're like trying to fumble through, like trying to figure out, oh, well, here's a sample. This is hot sauce. Like, hope you like it. Buy, please.
Which it can still be that way a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes with these events, there's so many people, there's so many moving, everything, whether that be other vendors next to you talking, moving their hands, causing attention to draw, that oftentimes it's just really, at the end of the day, it's the product and the visual appeal that grabs them. So, it's awesome. I mean, y'all have definitely nailed it on that. Let's get this one read off here, and then I'm going to flip on over so I can also view the comments. And here we go. So this is the cayenne ginger lemon heat coming in at a 3, aroma at 4.1, flavor at 4.4, versatility at a 4, and burn at a 3.3 for a total swear word rating of 3.76. Very nice. Once again, direct links for that will be down below. We'll jump into these other two as we go, but for right now, let's keep this rolling. Obviously, ferments is in the name. Is every ingredient you use a part of the overall main ferment mash, or do you separate out some to be fresh?
Yes and no. Yeah. So, like, for example, like with the ginger cayenne lemon sauce. The ginger and lemon we add post fermentation, and that's probably why you're tasting the fresh lemon, because we squeeze lemons and we immediately add it to it post fermentation right before we blend and bottle it. Yeah, and then but yeah, as far as like the majority of our sauces, the base ingredients of our sauces, everything is chopped up and put in a salt brine and let it sit for several weeks altogether. And I think that's what allows our ingredients to kind of mingle and get to know each other.
Yep.
Really rounding out the flavor of all of our sauces.
Yeah, very nice.
I will say the secret ingredient is it's Chad's tears. So because like we're literally in the kitchen, we have like this kind of food processor chopper thing. We chop everything up, we hand massage it in salt. So we do a dry ferment, we don't add any water.
Okay.
That pulls out all the water that's necessary to make those sauces. But like literally, like Chad can like walk into the kitchen and just immediate. And I mean, like we're all that way. But Chad gets
You would think that in a big hot sauce operation that dealing with the super hot peppers would be the worst part about it, but it's those damn onions.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, onions will tear apart anyone from a tear jerking aspect. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's awful. And for me for me, actually, I find habaneros to be far worse. Like when when they like atomize in the air, like if you're cleaning a pot or something, I think they're worse than like the ghost peppers or Carolina Reapers. Like those will tear me up, but more so than the onions or garlic.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know. Obviously not to that same scale, but I know just simply the times whenever I'll clean off something that I've been cooking with, that if I've either used powder or sauce or whatever for the dish, and I'll go use the water to clean everything off. Whenever it kicks it up in the air, if the family is in the living room, you just start hear sneezing and coughing, and the dog walks out of the room, and it's like,
oh yeah, I'm not allowed to test batch at home if my wife is there.
Yeah.
When test batching roasted sweet heat, I got in a lot of trouble. Which like I wouldn't even say like that's a hot sauce, but just like the Fresnos and stuff, like getting picked up in the air, I got in a lot of trouble.
I had no idea that Fresno peppers were as spicy as they are. They look like little sweet bell peppers, so I took a bite out of a raw one the first time we were making that sauce, and immediately I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we all did. Not really. and like I knew, because like, I was like, but yeah, I mean, like, I know, like, you took a big bite. I think Matt did as well. And it was like...
Just hiccuping, all right, we got to ride the wave.
Yeah. Very nice. I like it a lot. That's, that's the best way, and that's the most fun way to go about it, is really just diving in, experiencing the ingredients before they get to, as you're saying, really mingle and get to know each other in the overall sauce. Okay, so from a... fermented standpoint, do y'all tend to ferment y'all's garlic that y'all use, or is that always going to be fresh?
Everything.
Okay.
So like for instance, like if we talk about like roasted sweet heat, so some of the garlic is roasted beforehand, it's added to the fermentation, and then some of it is fresh. It's still added to the fermentation. So for instance, like in ginger cayenne lemon, as Chad said, the ginger and lemon is what's added post-fermentation.
Yeah.
That's it. And hot fuzz, which is a peach habanero with ají chilies from Peru that we add. Some of the peaches are pre-fermentation, some of the peaches are post-fermentation. And then like our fire melon sauce, which is a watermelon lime version of Ghost. It's kind of like a spicy Jolly Rancher Mexican candy.
Okay.
The watermelon is added post-fermentation.
Okay.
But that's because like watermelon is such a delicate and subtle flavor that you have to use a ridiculous amount if you don't want to use flavorings or things like that, which we don't do.
Yep.
And if you were to ferment that, I don't think anybody has ever desired to eat fermented watermelon.
We'd have to try that out just to say we did. I don't think it would end well, but
I've heard of people doing using watermelon to create alcohol, so I can see it potentially that way, but I can't imagine it would be a great taste. Obviously with alcohol, oftentimes you're not going for the overall flavor as much as the end result.
My guess is it would probably be very tart because there's so much sugar in the watermelon that the lacto is like the fermentation is going to go crazy.
Yep.
So my guess it would probably just be very, very, very tart.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and open the next bottle while we're talking. So this is Ghost for everyone that's watching now. Once again, perforated. I'm going to get a nice little run with the knife if I can get it to bite.
And I know, Chad, I think Ghost is probably your favorite, isn't it? That or Daily Driver?
It's been my favorite as of late. Probably over the last like 2 months, I decided that I really like just really extra hot things. I'm a terrible cook, so like normally my food is very bland. Without having that heat, and the ghost pepper and Carolina Reaper pepper actually have really good flavors to them that I've grown fond of over just the last couple of months. But yeah, that one has been my new favorite sauce. I actually went to a Jack in the Box a couple of weeks ago, and they were very stingy with their ketchup packets. So I put that on my ultimate cheeseburger. I dipped my curly fries in it, and I didn't have enough money for a drink. So,
well, I mean, I would end up drinking a lot of these because they're so tasty. But that's just me, and I'm also a little bit crazy. So
yeah, I mean, I eat a lot of eggs and like ground chicken. I eat Ghost almost. I go through about a bottle of Ghost a week.
Very nice.
It's kind of a problem.
The speaking of Jack in the Box, and not to get too much on that, I think the last time I went there, it's a little bit funny to explain. So anytime it naturally pops up, I always think of it. Last time I was there was quite a few years ago, but it was late at night. I was through the drive-through because the inside was shut down at the time, and I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And I'm like, what is going on? Next thing you know, I hear fire trucks and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, where are they going? And all the parking lots just completely surrounded with fire trucks. And the officer gets out and walks over to my car and is like, you're gonna have to drive backwards and get out of the drive-through because the Jack in the Box is on fire. Apparently someone ordered tacos, and I was like, oh, that was my order of tacos.
Oh no.
So yeah, I haven't been back since. But let me get this off for the poor sake of...
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
So we used to have flow restrictors on all of our sauces, and then we stopped. And both decisions made a lot of people angry, and so we just put flow restrictors on our hot ones.
Yeah, we've received so many emails of people, that they assumed that there was a flow restrictor on the bottle. They dumped half the bottle on their first meal, and the other people they want us to take it off because they have to shake it so hard to get it onto their
or because they want half a bottle on their food.
Well, first of all, not calling anyone anything, but if you're not paying attention to whether or not the bottle has a flow restrictor, there's some other issues going on.
I agree.
I mean, they're just so excited to try it.
Yeah.
that they're not even paying attention.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it.
It's oftentimes things get the best of me. Oh man. All right. So right off the bat, this also has a nice, almost a sweet note to the aroma, but you're definitely picking up that flavor or the aroma of the overall peppers. It also smells a little bit like maybe some onion or shallot almost. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I'm smelling.
Yeah, you're picking it up.
Okay, cool. I do love shallot in sauce. I think it's beautiful. So, once again, love the color, love the aroma, nice medium consistency for all those that are interested in knowing that.
So if this was early days Freaky Ferments, you would have gotten a sticker of either like Chad or Matt's face for that big spoonful.
Yeah.
Nice.
In 2020, with all the shutdowns and stuff, we were trying to figure out ways to really boost our online sales. And so Sticker Mule was doing a promo at the time, and it was like 4-inch die cut stickers, and it was like you get 50 of them for like $25 or something. And so I was like, cool, we'll give it a shot. I had just gotten back home from grocery shopping and took a really insane photo of myself in my kitchen and cropped the head, sent it, and it came back. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to tag this with a challenge. So whenever we are at these farmers markets, like people that think that they're hot stuff, they can attempt to take a spoonful of our ghost sauce and receive a sticker of my face. Which some folks, they still have my face on their bumpers of their cars from that challenge.
Very nice.
Which I think is pretty cool. But since then, I've kind of been in a predicament. So that was 4 years ago. If we were ever going to bring the challenge back, I don't know if I should get the same sticker again.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm much older and wiser now.
Yeah.
And more handsome.
Yeah, and more handsome. Yeah, I'm like a bottle of wine. I age over time and it tastes better.
There we go.
But yeah, or do I make another face sticker? And if someone has the same face stickers side by side, like what if it looks like a whole different person? Like, and then it shows how much I've aged, and it could be a bug or a feature. And yeah, I've been thinking on this for about a year now. But yeah,
we might just do your face.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I like that.
You know, I think the idea of rolling out a new sticker only makes sense in the realms of like you're locking in and solidifying those that have done it early on as like being the OGs of really setting this up, and now you're rewarding a new wave of those individuals that are coming out, but you're not taking away from those that have done it in the past.
Yeah. I guess it's like an anniversary T-shirt or something. Like you don't want to roll out with the same design twice because then it's just not as fun. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that settles that then.
No. I mean, that sauce is phenomenal. We'll talk through a few things real quick. So for all those that were watching, that was the ghost sauce that was just tried. The overall heat on this, it's as to be expected. It's a ghost pepper, so you're getting that nice hit right off the bat, but ghost peppers do tend to build over time. So your initial heat is going to be much different than what you're going to be picking up on the overall burn. Burn-wise, so heat-wise, you're getting it not on the front of the tongue. There we go. Not on the back. But on the burn, you're getting it much more residual burn to the back of the throat. So it ends up creeping off the front of the gums and everything and going towards the back of the throat. It really just kind of parks right there and starts to ramp up. So you get that nice overall smoldering burn in the back of the throat. Nothing really in the chest, nothing in the stomach, but just a phenomenal heat on that. And like I said, the burn has a nice uptick going on. So while that one gets input, you want to go ahead and explain what's in Ghost?
Yeah, so Ghost, right, you have that bright floral ghost pepper flavor up front, earthy fruitiness, the Carolina Reaper on the back end. And the reason why you can taste those is because we use them. So we don't use powders, extracts, pepper blends, flavorings. Like the only seasoning, spice, or powder, I guess that you want to say that's in any of our sauces is salt. And so that's red bell peppers, ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers, onion, garlic, and shallots. And then, as I said, about that much apple cider vinegar in it. And that's why you just get that really nice, bright, kind of buffalo-y flavor, right?
Yep.
And so we like it on like fried chicken, fried fish, wings, eggs, potatoes. I mean, it's good on everything. And like, as I said, like, right, I put it on my eggs every morning. And, I mean, like Chad, you're kind of a psychopath with putting on your Jack in the Box. But I mean, like, it's absolutely phenomenal. But like, we don't do gimmicky heat or like gimmicky sauces. We believe in the ridiculous idea that your food should taste good.
Yep.
And like, I'm not your therapist. I'm not here to make you feel something. I just want your food to taste good.
Yeah. No, and y'all definitely have it. Y'all got that dialed in. Is that one ready? All right, here we go. We'll go ahead and get this one read off. So heat coming in at 3.45. Aroma coming in at 4.25, a flavor of 4.6, a versatility of a 4, and a burn of 3.89 for a total swear word rating of 4.04. There we go. Very solid sauce. Direct link down below. Let's go ahead and also, how are the comments looking? Also, a reminder for anyone that's watching, got comments, send them in. Do we have a few? Let's grab one or two of these. All right. So Chad, how did you get the nickname Frog?
So, stupid story. So the companies from the North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, we've all been in great communication over the last couple of years. And someone had posted something in the chat, something was going wrong. and I sent a GIF of Slippy Toad from Star Fox in the chat where it just said no, and I'm showing my age, but anybody that's out there that's fully aware of who Slippy Toad is, hands up. But yeah. So now my nickname in the group chat is Frog. And also, I'm very good at sipping the tea, just like the Kermit the Frog meme, because that's none of my business.
All right, I like it. Learning something new right there. Let's see, we got another one here. All right, so it says Chad was crying from Guatemalan habaneros from Hill Country hot peppers at the North Texas Hot Sauce Fest.
Yeah, that was a bad time. Earlier that day, they had done the pepper eating contest.
Yeah.
One of my friends, AJ, he was wanting to do it with me, and I was like, no, like I know what these peppers are about. Like this is not something like this. We're not gonna have fun doing it. We're gonna be out here all day. And like we have to talk to people, like we can't be just hiding in the bathroom with our stomachs turning over. And so I was good. I turned him down earlier that day, and then right before the event ended, one of my other buddies, Zach, he had got a group of friends, and he was like, "All right, we're gonna do these super hot peppers." He's like, "You gotta do one with us," and I was like, "This is so dumb. This is so dumb." And so I took the pepper from him, and I said, "This is so dumb," and just bit into it, started crunching, and as soon as I started crunching, the tears just flowed. Like it was a very emotional experience for me. Then the hiccups, and then Cole from Fucking Hot Sauce was like, "Hey, let's go take a photo," So I'm like smiling, but I'm crying at the same time. It was. That wasn't a very fun experience either. Why do I do this?
Well, and actually, I kind of have a story similar to that. So, like, my introduction to Freaky Ferments, so, like, I started hanging out and helping in, like, 2021 because I was bored during COVID.
Okay.
And but my introduction is I was over at Justin, who's one of our other owners. I was over at his house, and him and Matt were there. And at the time, Justin was growing ghost peppers, and I was a huge fan of our ghost sauce, like of all of our sauces. And I'm an idiot. I wasn't quite aware of what a ghost pepper was, and so Justin was like, "Hey, do you want to try one?" And he meant a nibble, and I threw the whole thing in my mouth, and I was good for about 10 seconds, and then I wasn't good. And I like waterboarded myself, which like the first 10 minutes, it just kept on getting worse.
Yep.
And then I started involuntarily shaking.
Yep.
And like my wife came up to me and like she tried to give me a hug, and I was like, "Get away." Cause like I thought I was gonna like punch her. But that was like my introduction to Freaky Ferments.
Initiation.
And then like, so I mean like
The ghost pepper hazing.
I would like to think that we're all pretty smart people, but we can be an idiot, because I mean, like this past Zest Fest, there was a guy walking around with a speaker, like with like dried peppers, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to try one?" And I didn't ask any questions, and I just threw the thing in my mouth, and then I was not okay until I made myself get sick later.
Yeah, he was literally in the middle of a sale, and the guy walked by, and he's like, "Peppers?" He's like, "Sure, thanks."
Yep.
Popped it in and kept on talking, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, and it would like come in waves.
Yep.
And so like I remember this vividly. Like I was in the middle of like talking to this like old lady that was wanting to get hot sauce for her grandson, and I was just like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
I'm like in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I forget what sauce I was talking about, but I was like, I'm gonna puke on this lady. And then like I like kept it together, like easily transitioned off to like Taylor. I would like say easily. I'm pretty sure I like pulled it in. I was like, "You need to talk to this lady," and like I went to the bathroom and made myself
He was
get
down
sick.
and out for a good while.
It was
I
bad.
bought him some ice cream from Beth Marie's, but it didn't seem to help much.
Yeah, I think it was the only like non-spicy ice cream they had, and so yeah, I mean it was bad.
Well,
Like,
y'all were also in a very high traffic spot there. So like stepping away in that situation, from what I can recall, would have been rather difficult, because you're literally stepping out and into a even bigger crowd.
yeah.
So, okay. All right. Well, let's see here. We got another one here. All right. Hey, we need to see Jack's tattoo, Chad.
Oh, the Jack one. Yeah. So I don't know if y'all can see it, but yeah, it's just a little tiny like thumbnail size like Jack in the Box on my hand. I got it on Friday the 13th for $13. I was walking around in Deep Ellum, and there was a line outside of the tattoo shop, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on? What's And the guys in line, they were like, "Oh, $13 tattoos." I was like, "Okay, well, I don't have anything else going on," so got in line, and it was 2.5 hours before I got into the building. I was in and out in less than 5, and I've had this Jack tattoo for a long time. What's really cool is the positioning of it, because that's normally like if I was going to try hot sauce and I didn't have a spoon, like I just cover the little circle, and then do a little of that. But yeah, that was way before I had any insight that I was going to be involved in the hot sauce industry. So it all kind of worked out.
Very nice. Okay. The tying to, you just talked about obviously the transitioning into the hot sauce game, but you started out with homebrew aspect. I mean, obviously we've kind of hit on it in a few other episodes, but really, I guess, could you speak towards the similarities and the crossover that is between hot sauce and brewing?
Yeah. So there's a lot of sanitation. So our early batches, we actually made our hot sauce in home brewing equipment, plastic 5-gallon carboys. We put airlocks on them to prevent any oxygen from getting in. The big difference is that when you're making beer or something alcoholic, yeast is what produces the alcohol. In our sauces, which a lot of people at markets they're confused by the whole fermentation thing. They come up and they're like, "Oh, am I going to get drunk off this hot sauce?" And it's like, no, it's actually a little bit different. There's aerobic fermentation, anaerobic fermentation. Anaerobic fermentation is the one that we use, where we have a bacteria, lactobacillus, culture over the vegetables. And they produce a byproduct of CO2 and lactic acid. There's no alcohol being created in this. But with home brewing, like you pitch yeast on it, and then yeast produce alcohol and CO2, while they chew up the sugars. And so, like for example, like in our mango pineapple habanero sauce, we don't like we ferment with everything in the bottle.
Yeah.
And so we're not adding fruit post fermentation to maintain that sweetness. So a lot of people, they get excited about the syrupy sweetness from like the mango pineapple habanero sauces that they may have had in the past. Ours actually has a drier fruit flavor and a more tanginess to it than like a syrupy, like over the top sweetness. And that's because of the lactobacillus bacteria converting sugars into lactic acid. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just, I know that there's so many similarities and crossovers and like even, I guess, down to the methodologies that are just almost, very parallel. And then it just makes a slight branch, and it's, the differences start to, come into picture.
Well, yeah.
And I mean, like in like the 60-gallon fermenters that we use now, we got those from Division.
We're still using brewing equipment. And as far as just like, pumps and hoses and just moving liquid back and forth from heating and doing all that. Going to smaller breweries, we imagined that that's what our first own kitchen would look like. Would be big conical fermenters, and then pumps and water and floor drains, and just like out of an abandoned warehouse.
Yeah, very nice. No, that makes perfect sense. I don't know why there's not more hot sauce companies really kind of finding other breweries in their town to really start to not necessarily partner with completely, but really like lean on each other and from a sourcing standpoint, from a knowledge-based standpoint, there's just so much that could easily be transitioned from one to another.
Yeah, and that's funny that you said that, because what got me fired up about the brewing industry was that it was very like community based. It was very like friendly focused, like like all the breweries, they're not competing trying to chop each other's legs out from under them. They're supporting each other, and transitioning into hot sauce, I wanted to take that same philosophy with me, and so a lot of markets we set up at, we'll be set up against, other companies in the North Texas area, Tot Sauce, Foggy Hot Sauce, Clowns on Fire. And the customers, they'll come up and they're like, oh, your competition's set up right across from you. And it's like, man, like we send each other memes all the time. Like we're like, neither one of us invented hot sauce. Like we're sharing secrets of, like where we get our bottles from, like where we get our stickers, t-shirts, all that stuff. Like we're all trying to chase that dream.
Yep.
And we're going to support each other any way we can in order to get there. And yeah, it's very community driven. That's what gets me up in the morning. It's all about, community. We all thrive together. Anyone who says they're self-made, they're not. They had a lot of people that they either stepped on or they helped them get to where they were.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, one of the reasons why we did the state fair last year and continue to do it this year was encouragement from Clowns on Fire. So, like, Ron and Greg really kind of helped explain that process, kind of showed us that it's not as daunting or as terrifying as we initially thought it would be. And again, like, they're some of the biggest advocates for us to do large scale markets and stuff. And I mean, like, like Cole with like fucking hot sauce and Nate with Tot and stuff. I mean, like, there's just a really awesome community, and like, hot sauce is going to be the number, like if it's not the number one condiment, it's definitely on the move to be the number one condiment. And I mean, everybody can have a cabinet of a variety of hot sauce. It's not like there is one hot sauce for every food.
Yep.
And so why not help each other instead of push each other down?
No, I absolutely agree. I am going to open up this next bottle. This last one here is the Winter Warmer. And man, the visual appeal. So the difference with this one versus the others is obviously you have a nice, what is that? The foiling. I can't think of this. Is that the actual foil?
I think it's like the term for the label.
Okay.
It's a foil label.
And then a wax seal. So very, very nice here. It does have the pull. So let's go ahead and grab that. I know a lot of people struggle with wax seals, so having that pull there is amazing. I've kind of mastered it some way, somehow. I don't know. I'll be very fortunate on that. But
yeah, I've come close to slicing my finger open, messing with wax seals several times.
Yeah. Which so Winter Warmer. So all of our sauces normally take a month to make.
Okay.
Winter Warmer, what we did is we take our ghost sauce and then we ferment it for an additional year, and we fermented it in a Corsair whiskey triple smoke barrel. So it's got that nice kind of subtle whiskey smell. It's gonna be, so that year-long fermentation, instead of it being bright and floral, it takes on a bold umami, almost Worcestershire flavor, so it becomes savory. And then you're gonna have these like really kind of subtle, oaky, smoky like notes on the end. And I mean, like, it's a little bit hotter. That comes from that additional year of fermentation. Also, we're pretty sure that barrel kind of soaked up some of the sauce to kind of help concentrate it a little bit. Yeah, it's a big boy. So,
all right, I'm gonna get in here before I get too.
It's fine. You can lick your hand.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not gonna let this go to waste. Should be good. Thank you, man. The savoriness on this, yes, through the roof. It is phenomenal. The overall, to your point, much more complex, much more savory notes, but it does have a much, as far as the blending between everything, it is very, very much subtle. It's interlocking. The notes are consistent the whole way through for everything that's in here. At the very end is where it really starts to let those the peppers really shine forward and become the main prominent thing. But that smoky, savory, umami taste is just amazing the whole way through. Knocked it out of the park on that. And yes, to your point too, you can taste the while the heat is definitely there, and yeah, a little touch up. The overall notes throughout the sauce is much more refined, if you will. So love what y'all have going on there.
Which we'd love to take credit for it, but it's fermentation, right? Like so like our little slogan is, it's no secret, it's science. I mean, like, it's like fermentation is kind of what does everything there. And the reason why we bought it is because I believe later this week or early next week, we're launching this on our website. So, we only did about 15 gallons of this sauce, and this is a year-long sauce, so when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. Don't sleep on this sauce. Don't sleep on this one at all. Winter Warmer, definitely grab that one. It'll be coming out. You said when?
Should be end of this week or
Yeah.
early next week. We're going to do a big blast on social media, and encourage you guys to make sure you check out our website and that kind of stuff. But I mean, like, I know for me, like, I plan on using this in like an old fashioned and that kind of stuff. I mean, like, it really kind of lends itself to both red meats with that savory umami quality, and then especially if you want that kind of like nice warm sipper at the end of the night. Like to me, like I plan on making quite a few old fashions with this over the holidays. So.
Very nice.
Immediately, that nightcap with a grilled cheese.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, like Chad's notorious within the group for his ghost pepper grilled cheeses. So.
This is going to be really a hard struggle to not want to just down this bottle right away. But no, I'll definitely, whenever it comes out and y'all make that announcement, I'll make sure to share it out there for anyone watching. Though, y'all get that first hit as well to know, jump on over to the website and grab your bottles. We still have quite a bit to cover, but time is kind of starting to run down a little bit on what we have available tonight. So definitely want to have y'all back. But here's a fun part that we can talk about is the nugget of knowledge. Still trying to figure out how to make that a little bit better than just what it is. But, what is something, pain, struggle, headache that you would say to either yourself or someone that's just starting out to avoid?
I'd say seriously consider onion powder.
No,
save you a lot of tears.
So I know for me, honestly, it would be don't be afraid to ask questions and to reach out to your peers, right? Because there is that concern, right? Like, the competition is there to hurt me. Right?
Yeah,
like, the competition isn't there to be helpful. And I know, like, when I first started helping with Freaky Ferments, like with that was like something that to me was very kind of odd. Was like, wait, so like we actually like get advice and give advice to our peers.
Yeah. Everyone was very suspiciously nice when we first kind of came out onto the scene, and you always kind of had like your guard up. You're like, do you feel like people are bringing you close so they can like keep their thumb on you kind of thing. And over the years, you start to really see the authenticity of it all. Mm-hmm. And we're 100% bought in. It's what we always wanted. So and
we have people that come up to us at markets that say like, hey, I want to get into fermentation. I want to get into either like making things like sauerkraut or kimchi, or like I want to make hot sauce. And like our slogan is, it's no secret, it's science. Fermentation is one of the oldest food preservation methods. If anything, reach out to us on social media, like shoot us a message on Instagram. We're gonna save you a 4-hour deep dive on Reddit, right? Of like conflicting opinions on how much salt you should use, right? So, it's like that would be the biggest advice, I think, would just be don't be afraid to ask questions of your peers, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because I mean, I know that was my biggest surprise, was just the amount of help that's out there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's something that's great about the community as a whole. I do want to try to squeeze in. We'll do a rapid fire on this though, on the 5. It should be relatively quick. This is oftentimes a pretty quick game. Let's.
Is this the one where you ask us our ingredients?
No. This is. We're gonna display 5 images at different. It's not gonna be all at once. It'll be at different times. And then you just have to rank it. And 1 could be the best. 5 could be the best. It doesn't matter. It's just it is what it is, and we'll rank it from there. But. Once we get that dialed in, there we go. And up first, we have the image of, boom. This is one of y'all's sauces. This is Ghost. Where do you want it?
I mean, it was the first sauce we ever made, so I think we put it at number 1.
Okay, there we go, number 1. And then the next up is, this is a fermented garlic is what that is right there. But that's obviously fermenting in honey.
Let's do I'd say 2. Like I'm a slut for garlic in general. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, unless you like also have a picture of like black garlic or something up there. But...
Oh, we don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
There we go. Number 3. It's another one of y'all sauces.
Ooh, fire melon.
Yep, fire melon.
Fire melon and smokin' are like 2 of my favorite labels. One of my good friends, Taylor Lucas, he's the one that designed a majority of our bottles, and he's really good at like dynamism.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. For me, I mostly just drink it. I don't really eat it. So I put this at like 4.
I'd say fire melon is a summer fling that as soon as summer's over, you want to kick it. Let's do, I'd say 4. Let's do 4.
Okay. Number 4. There we go.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like a spicy Jolly Ranger. It's kind of like, it's got this like really kind of unique flavor to it. But I mostly just put it in like margaritas or like Mexican candy shots and stuff.
Okay. Here we go. Next one is... Boom. Y'all dodged a bullet on this. This is fermented fish.
10.
Yeah. 10.
Well, number 5. There we go.
Yeah. If I ever did that at my house, my wife would kill me.
Yeah, same. I wouldn't be allowed to come home.
Well, here's pickles as number 3.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a fair bet or a fair place.
I'm really proud of us.
Yeah.
That was good.
Nah,
Good.
that was a pretty solid game right there. Do you want to run it again? Let's run it back. All right, this is gonna be another fire round though. Let's do this one. Up first, it's miso.
Ooh.
Sticking with the fermented so far.
Yeah.
Miso is really unique. It has that kind of like umami quality. I don't really cook with it a lot though.
Yeah, I've had miso soup a couple of times, but like I've never been wowed by it. Let's knock it down to 4. I think there's something better out there for us.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be fermented fish.
All right, kombucha.
Ooh.
Kombucha. Oh.
If this is a Freaky Ferments kombucha, obviously. Number 1.
I'd say 3. Like I appreciate kombucha and what it is, but like if I'm looking for a beverage at any point of the day, it wouldn't be my first option.
Yeah, and actually for a period of time we actually made kombucha. We made it in the same vessels that we made our hot sauce. So rather than smelling like dirty feet, it smelled like hot sauce. It was
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't taste like hot sauce, but it smelled like it.
Yeah. All right, and then we have sauerkraut.
Ooh.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Which actually we used to make sauerkraut, but the priority is hot sauce.
Yep.
I was getting my haircut today, and I was talking to the lady about how to make sauerkraut. So.
Yeah, and I still need to just write the recipe and submit it on our website. But a grilled cheese with sauerkraut on top of that ghost sauce forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then kefir. I might be saying that wrong, but
I've had it a few times. 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not fermented fish. The last.
oh man, I don't know. You kind of dodged it on the last one. So
Give me them hairy anchovies.
here we go. The very last one is number 2, regardless, and that's kimchi.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yep.
So like because like it's funny because like I've ran like at the Dallas Farmers Market, I ran into people that didn't know what sauerkraut was, but knew what kimchi was, and so I just described it as white people kimchi.
It's a great description. It's just kimchi is same kind of fermentation. It's just it has a little bit more spicy to it, but
more complexity.
Yeah. All right. Well,
nice.
Hey, that was the 5. It was a pretty fun game. A little bit faster paced than normal, but nothing wrong with that. Last minute shout out to who would you put on the hot seat?
Oh man, I would say hardcore hot sauce down in Houston. Lauren, come get some.
There we go. All right, I'll be reaching out to set up a time to have you on, and we'll dive into that. All the fun scheduling and making sure everything lines up. And looking forward to it. Obviously, once again, it's been a blast. There's still so much more we can dive into. Definitely would love to have y'all back on and go a little bit deeper on this. But man, I think that's that. Let's go ahead and wrap this show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Man, if this was y'all's first time checking out the show, so glad to have y'all here. Please, continue to share this with other like-minded chili heads. If you're curious about spicy foods, if you're trying to get into it, this is definitely the place to be to figure out everything from, mild to wild. So it's going to be a lot of fun to continue to grow this. We just crossed the 1 year marker and have a lot of plans to add and do some revisions and make some nice changes that should ultimately benefit the overall flow and format of everything. So keep your eyes out for that. And man, continue to send on over to YouTube where it will be live. Also, it rolls out to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So for those that are listening on Apple Podcasts and viewing and or listening on Spotify, thank y'all so much for every single time that y'all tune in. But hey, man, this has been another amazing episode, but couldn't have done this without podvision.io. So highly recommend checking out them if you have hit a bump in the road, snag in the road, you're trying to continue to figure out how to make things easier on yourself as a whole. Highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all your needs there. And hey, this has been a blast. Episode 53 is in the books. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.